So today we are here with Dordy Pierre-Paul. I'm going to read out his bio. Dordy Pierre-Paul is a best-selling author, an entrepreneur, and a financial coach. He helps entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, and working professionals achieve financial freedom in their lives and businesses. He was buried under a mountain of 531,000 US dollars in credit card, vehicle loan, and student debt and mortgage debt. But he got out. He crushed his debt and paid off 2 houses in just under 3 years. That's why he created the Financial Freedom Bootcamp, based on the tips, tools, and techniques he learned from coaches and mentors to help others become financially free. If you're ready to smash your debt in life and business for peace, freedom, and wealth you desire, he is here to help. Wow. Dordy Pierre-Paul, thank you so much for joining me here today. What an amazing story. Wow, I can see that you really have so much value to share with other people. So I would really love to know. I know that you're a coach, a financial coach, and I know that you've written a book. Please tell me, did the coaching come first or did the book come first?
Wow. Wow. Thank you, Coach Caroline, for having me on your show today. I'm so honored to be part of your one of your lists. So thank you so much. Now, to answer your question, I would say the coach came first, but it was more like I would say it was never about I guess formatting the process in terms of like being a coach. But once I starting to notice is there are people out there who actually resonate with my story, I just like, you know what? I need to get my story out by actually writing a book. And that's how this has actually come to play. So just very short. So the coach was already on the underground, but never get a whole lot of traction. But the book come on the table that put me on the map now to actually connect with you. So definitely, it's just like the book is actually take over versus like what I was doing before.
Right. So the book helped your business.
Absolutely, 100%.
Huh, can you tell me how?
Well, there's a couple things I noticed is about become a best-selling author, particularly the book. One is actually give me the credibility. It's so important because of the type of industry that I am, and I don't want to teach another person information. I want to actually tell my story. I know I'm the
Mm,
only one who went through that journey. No one else, even though that there are other people who went to debt to get out of it. But my story is my
mm,
story. So if other people resonate with it and that actually give me a whole lot of, I guess, an opportunity to share. One is its credibility. Number two, it gave me what we call like my own IP, meaning I have my own information, my own actually strategy to share with people, and
right.
that's so key because as you know, Coach Caroline, there are a lot of people out there with their own story, and for
Mm,
some reason, they're afraid to actually put that on the book. But what it gives
mhm.
them is actually give them their own format, their own way to tell other people about what they're teaching, because there's only one version of Coach Caroline out there, and no one else can tell her story better than her. So therefore, my own IP is my own IP. So this is the second one. And number three, what a book gave me. A book gave me what I call like it's more about I guess people seem to value my information much more, and which is tied
Mm,
early to the IP to the I guess recognition early. But when you become a best-selling author, this is no joke. I mean, you got something to share. People will listen to you, and not only
right.
would you saying that, but it is important because when you put that on the book, my goodness gracious, those three things are the reason that my book put me on the map. And also, those who out there want to write a book, you have a story to tell. Go for it.
Wow. That's amazing. So you're saying the book like put you on the map. Like
Absolutely.
it gave you more value, it gave you more credibility, and it gave you a way to share your strategy. And your strategy is it a seven-step process?
My strategy, it's a seven-step process on the book. So those processes that I laid out, those are the process I went through to go from that five half a million dollars in debt in US dollars in debt to now
Yeah,
I'm debt free and be in a
right.
position to share that over. So those are the seven strategies or seven-step process I use from the
Yeah,
time I was in debt to where I'm at to get to pretty much create the blueprint I call today the better life blueprint.
right, right, right. Dordy, why do you think that debt is such a problem? Like, why is it like we hear about it, we hear about so many people being in debt these days. Why do you think that is?
Well, Coach Caroline, I don't think, well, I said number one reason that debt is a problem is pretty much there's a lack of discipline. There's a lack of habit. There's lack of what we call like spending out of control. So I don't think
Yes.
nobody would wake up one day where this is like, you know what, I'm going to debt because I don't want to sleep at night. I don't think anybody says I'm going to debt and hoping 2 or 3 years from now I'll be going to the point where my paycheck will be gone. I don't know. I don't think nobody says, you know, I'm going to debt so that I could put my family in jeopardy. So the
Mm,
thing that get us into debt sometime is what we call, I call it, this is really is a mindset where we believe in what the saying out there about debt, then we get into debt, find out that's not the case, then we trap with that. And my story was like that because I grew up in Haiti, moved to America. I'm obviously grew up in Haiti. I came from a lower class family. I've always dreamed of a better life, and I came to America with nothing, and starting from the bottom. And as I understand, in order for me to reach my dream, I got to start somewhere. So I start borrowing money, getting student loans and getting other loans as well. Find myself in $500,000 in
mm,
debt. Now
yeah.
think about it. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Mm,
It's a lot of money. And I never dreamed one day I would come to America, get that much debt on my shoulder, but it happened. But here's
yeah.
the thing, though. The thing that I understand about debt, you can wonder your way into debt. You cannot wonder your way out of debt. I tell people that all the
Mm,
time. You can feel like, you know what? Hey, I'm going to buy this. It's easy. But to get out of debt, it's going to require a different mindset. So once I understand that one day as I was walking in the house, and it was very stressful. I couldn't sleep at night. And then had our first daughter. And man, I was going through a hard time. There's layoff coming through. And as I was walking in the living room, and all of a sudden, my head starting to spin. And next thing I know, within a split second, I fall down in the living room. There was a coffee table. If I would have landed next to the coffee table, I would have busted my head. And while I was on
wow.
the ground, I heard somebody calling my name. It was my wife. Says, "Hey, honey, honey, are you okay?" That was my wake up call to say, you know what? I got people that depend on me. If you don't do anything about your
Mm,
debt, guess what happened? You're gonna collapse again. You have an opportunity now to prevent another collapse. But if you don't take care of your life, if you don't take care of that debt on your shoulder, you're gonna collapse again. That day I wake up, I look at myself in the mirror. I said, what can I do to not collapse again? That put me on a journey to say, you know what? I
mm,
need to start putting some processes together. And now getting it out of $500,000 of debt, you know what? I thought
mm,
it was a really high mountain, but after I climbed one step at a time, gradually paid off the student loans, paid off the car, paid off the mortgage, and we paid off another mortgage. Then here I am. So it's all about the
mm,
mindset of we need to shift about getting into debt. And my rule of thumb, I tell people, if you're gonna buy something, remember, make sure that you know what. For example, if you're going to buy something on a card, on the credit card, make sure at the end of that statement period you have that money available to pay that card, because those bank out there, they exist to make money. If you don't pay
mm,
them, they're going to come back after you. So be smart, be
yeah.
strategic, but also know that system design doesn't design for you to win. You got to find a way to beat that system, and this is you. You're the only one that you can control that. So that's actually what I
Right.
tell people about why they should not actually get into debt because of all those things.
Wow. Wow. It sounds like you had a panic attack. It sounds like you got so anxious because of your debt that you got a panic attack. And it sounds to me that you just don't want anybody else to go through that.
Absolutely, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah. Can you tell me a bit more about this mindset? Can you tell me a
Yeah.
bit more about what kind of mindset people, how people can create a getting out of debt mindset?
Wow, that's great. That's great. Well, here's the thing. I've always used that principle, and we come to create a different money mindset. Actually, growing up poor, where I came from, and we always adapt to a poor mentality. What do I mean by poor mentality? It's kind of like where you always think about in order for you to to reach your goals, to reach your dream, you always gonna be in debt in order for you to get there. Now, this is a false narrative. This is a false mentality. You don't have to. It's a choice that you have to make. So this is how you switch that mindset. You just have to actually reprogram your mind to say
Hmm.
to yourself, you know what? I believe I
Hmm.
can I could live a life where I don't have to borrow other people money, or I don't have to actually live on debt. So what it create in you, it's actually it create that alert system. Now, what do I mean by that? Let me give you like a clause here. There are things that, such as like somebody that want to buy a house here in America, and somebody that want to buy something where, such as like a high purchase amount, something that you give you some good return on investment, where you have to be strategic about that. But there's like the common purchase, you have to be really wise about it, such as like getting into credit card, getting into other type of loans where later that's gonna bury you. So number one, you have to actually always plan into your mind, put that in the forefront of your mind, saying that, you know what, debt is nothing but a trap to get me further into anxiety, into stress, into what I call like in bondage. And I don't want that. So it's pretty much the way you have to reprogram your mind to know that, you know
Hmm.
what, debt is not the option for me.
Right. And how do you do that? Is that affirmations? Like, do you every day, do you tell yourself this stuff? Like, tell me how you do it.
Well, here's the thing. So this is the way the when I start that process, I find this is actually work for me. And I call this, it's affirmation, but also I call it a reprogram, where you reprogram every, I mean, not only reprogramming, where you changing your habit while you actually reprogram your mind. For example, here's one I did all the time
Good.
is I've always looked into my behavior when it comes to spending money. So here's
Okay.
what I did. So at the end of the day, I know if I want to make a purchase, and let's say for example it would be $200, for example, and I know in my bank account I don't have that money yet. So what I did, first thing I did is I went ahead, look into what I want to purchase, and I said to myself, is it exactly a need, or is it exactly a want? That
Right.
actually normally trigger my conscience, my belief system. So that's the first thing. And I stopped thinking about it for 24 hours. I would usually put 24 hours in top of it. So you know why I put 24 hours, but it could be less for different people. Because normally what happened is, we know there are a lot of purchases that we made. It's based on feeling, not on the reality, not on the actual
Right.
need. For example, my wife love to shop. I don't have any problem with that. I was joking all the time. But I tell her all the time, now we have the money we can spend for whatever we want to buy. But I tell her, you know
Yeah.
what? I was like, do you actually really need that? She look at me, says, you know what? We love to shop. But the reality is, myself, what I find to work for me is just really question that desire for 24 hours. Then
Right.
if I don't have that money, then normally what happen is, within 24, within a couple of hours, that desire starting to slip away. Now, if it's something that's a need, and I know it's gonna start to play on my mind, then I need to make a move. So this is where I start to says, you know what? Okay, if I know I need this, I don't have the money, then how am I gonna find the money? And when would I be paying that money back? so that I don't have to live with that for a certain amount of time because stress would be killing me.
Right. Okay. So what I've got right now is that you have step one, which is
Yeah,
observe your behavior.
absolutely.
Step two, assess whether it's a need or a want. Assess
Right.
how you feel.
Yep.
Step three, question the impulse.
Yep.
Question the impulse for a certain amount of hours, whether it be like 24 hours. And
Mm,
then number four, if it's still there, if it's not an
yeah.
impulse anymore, and you've
Yeah.
assessed that and you've questioned it, and it then look at your choices.
Absolutely. Got it. Yeah. On
Right.
point. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. That's
Yeah.
really helpful for all our listeners who are in
Yeah.
debt.
Yeah, I know, right? I know it's not common. It's not common, but trust me, it worked for me. I work with other people and they come back and tell me, hey, look, this is really work, especially when I'm working with the ladies. They're just like, yeah, I don't think I need that. Sometimes they be purchasing those stuff. They go back and says, you know what? I need to return that. I don't think I really need it. I just like, you know what I'm talking about? No pun intended, ladies, but men like that too.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so getting back to your book and your coaching business, I would like to know before you brought out your book, what challenges were you facing in your coaching business?
It's pretty much for people to take me seriously though. It's just like
Oh,
I did not have what do you call like I'm not even call it like a business card. It's just like it's just like it was hard for people to actually says, man, he knows his stuff. He knows what he's talking about.
right.
And when I understand, when I start and realize, okay, it's become a repetition, I just like, okay, you know what? I need to do something about it. So
Mm,
that was the challenge I faced when I starting my
yeah.
coaching business. And listen to people, anybody here who actually who are in the entrepreneurs, solopreneur, working professional, you got a story to tell.
Mm,
Don't think about actually writing a book is not going to help your business. And it's going to help your business, give you that credibility where people would says, you know what, wow, I don't know, I want to work with this guy, but not only I want to work with her because she know her stuff, she have a framework. And also I did not have a framework before though. That's the second thing. I did not
right.
have a framework how to tell my story. And with that, by writing a book, put my story into it, and that actually gave me the opportunity to overcome that challenges.
So are you saying that by writing your book, it helped you to come up with your framework?
Absolutely.
That's amazing. That means so other people who are listening to this, the message is that writing a book can help you come up with a framework for your business and help people will take you more seriously.
Absolutely. 100%. 100%.
Mhm. Okay. And then while you were writing your book, because I assume that is this your first book?
Yeah, this is my first book.
Okay, so I assume that before this, you were not an author, and
Now,
right? So, what challenges did you face as a new author, writing your book and also publishing your book?
oh, great question. I think for me, the challenge I face as a new author is one of the hindered was uh, I felt like it was overwhelmed. It was really overwhelming because I just like writing a book. It's a lot. It's a lot. The overwhelming process, just not
Right.
overwhelming, but it's like man, this is a lot to put down, and
Yeah.
that's one. And number two, it was I didn't know how to start. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what are the process. So that was
Right.
another overwhelming aspect of it as well too. And number three, and I had to be like, man, there was a we call like self-doubt. Just man, what do I have? Is that people gonna? What do I have to tell people to actually believe? Not even believe, but to take me seriously. Just like, okay, who are
Mm,
you? You don't even know what to say. You know who gonna buy your story? And all
right.
those self-talk, I have to actually reprogram my mind. My mindset says, hey, you know what? Get out of here. I got a story. I'm the only one who lived that story, and no one else can live that life, only me. And obviously, those three things keep me. I've always, every time I put down, I sit down, try to write. I've always do that exercise. Just as I believe I can. I know my story
Mm.
gonna impact a lot of people, and I know there are people out there waiting to benefit from my book. So those three affirmation, I say that all the time before I even start, and before when I mean before I even start down on my computer, I just hey,
Yeah.
I believe I can. I believe someone
Mhm.
else waiting for my story, and I believe
Great.
my story gonna impact a lot of lives. And
Mm.
trust me, even though I hate some bump, even though there's some time I went to like multiple manuscripts and I get it done. So that's pretty
Yeah.
much what I faced in that journey.
Yeah. You've done so much mindset work.
I know.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, congratulations because you did finish your book. Can you tell me, can you tell me how you got it published and what
Yeah,
challenges you had with the publishing?
yeah, great question. Well, I got it published through Amazon, so that's where I got it. I got that process together. So obviously, I've known. I mean, I came across a great coach, Dr. Fred Jones, and he was the one that actually I came across that gave me the coaching opportunity. He gave me a framework to publish that book on Amazon, and that was great. Now the challenge I had to face again, self that always try to find his way to creep into my mind is when it comes to lunch day. And I remember talking to my coach, and he's like, Dr. Fred, he's like, I mean, you got to pull out your phone and text people on your contact list. I'd be like, oh man, I don't want to do that. Then I pull out my affirmation again. Those people are waiting to hear
Mm.
my story. And that marketing aspect, I remember at night, it was like 10 o'clock, by like 9:40 something at night. Um, and I had to drive. I drove to like five different houses. I tell my wife, let's go. We're gonna have to tell those people, some of them not technology savvy. I said, we're gonna have to go to the house, show them how to buy the book, and we did it, and we did it. And at the end of the night, we
Wow.
become number one bestseller. So those are the obstacle I face. And I
Mm.
believe that, it's the message and that drive me there. And I believe those are the thing that some people will feel like, oh, I don't have nobody. I don't know how to sell. Well, trust me, if you have a message, if you have a story, you figure out a way to tell people about it.
Yeah. Yeah. So you had to get up, drive to people's houses, show them how to order your book, and this was on your launch day.
Oh yeah, on my lunch day, I got an email says like I got a text says, hey, Dr. Fred text me, says, hey, you gotta have to push some book here. Now I just like, oh man, I just like, wow. My wife get on the phone. I says like, hey, we gotta call people. And
Yeah.
I started calling people. And we did it. I realized that,
Yeah.
what, that night I learned something, Coach Caroline. I learned something that night. I said, you know what? Whenever you have a desire, you know that you called to do something that's going to impact lives, regardless of the obstacle that you face. If you stay on course, nothing is going to stop you. And I learned that
Mhm.
tonight. I learned that night. That's why I'm always, whenever I find obstacle, I always replay that in the back of my mind. Just said, you know what? Nothing going to stop me because there are people out there waiting on my message.
Wow. That's so powerful. That's so powerful. Thank you for sharing. Tell me a little bit more about the book launch.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the book launch is actually a very strategic process. And once you ready to launch your book, number one, you have to set up a KDP account, and you go to Amazon, get everything together, and that would be that'll be one of the step. And number two, you just reach out to people on your phones and your contact. If you got some people that's already, you could, everybody got a certain amount of people on the contact list, and you let them know about what's coming. It's like you watch a movie. Whenever we go to the movie, we see like a good movie or a good show, be like, oh my god, I can't wait to tell people about it. That should
Yeah.
get you excited. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong about it. Call you, hey, girl, I watched this movie. You gotta go watch. It's just the same thing. It's the same process. So tell people
Yeah.
about what's coming. And
Yeah.
number two, once you do that, and obviously, you just go ahead. I mean, the thing is about the that lunch. By then, you have your book is you have your cover ready. You have your beautiful cover ready. Upload on Amazon and all those stuff. And once you get that done, you go to the process of selecting your categories and make sure that you select a category where you actually have a high chance of become a bestseller in that category. And when those things is done, it's just a matter of just keep driving people to your book, share that link with other people so they could go ahead and buy your books. And number one thing I realized about myself is just I had to tell people about it. And doesn't matter if they don't do it right away. I tell people, hey, if you buy it, send me a screenshot. I want to see it. It's not like I
Mm,
don't trust you. Send me a screenshot so I know it's happened. I mean, it's
yeah.
like, and people will do it. So I believe those three things, you set up your account on Amazon, and number two, you tell people about it, and number three, you upload it, and you tell people, hey, go get it, and tell them to send you a screenshot. Those are the process I use. I'm sure it's not like kind of like really super technical, but if I can do it, anybody can do it. It's not that hard, but just have to have the mindset and the passion to tell other people about what you're building.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. That's so valuable for our listeners. And one more. Could you tell me a little bit more about what help would you have appreciated during the writing and publishing process?
The help I would appreciate, it would not try to do this by myself, to be in a community where I was able to connect with other author, where we could go on that journey together. Because I'm always believe
Mm,
in teamwork. Because when you work solo, that we have the
mm,
tendency to drive the ball. So those are one of the help I wish I had more, or I wish I had in that process. Sometimes it would allows you to brainstorm ideas, just like, hey, this is what I'm writing about in this chapter. What do you think? And then those type of feedback will be very crucial in that journey. So that's one of the help. Number two, the second help I wish I had early, it was would be work with a writing coach in that journey. A writing coach is somebody,
mm,
it's not gonna do it for you, but it's somebody that you can actually help you structure your book in a way that gets you there faster. And I learned in that journey those were available. I did not tap into those resources, and
mm.
obviously it go back to investing, where sometimes we have the dream, we have something we want to accomplish, but we don't want to investing into that. So I wish those two things, tap into those two early, it would get me
Mm.
there a little faster.
Okay. So we're coming towards the end of this interview. I would like to ask you, um, what advice would you like to give other coaches who are watching this, who have not published a book yet, who have not published a book, but they might be thinking about publishing a book and they're struggling with their coaching business? What advice would you give them?
Wow, great. First time author or aspiring author. Man, the number one advice I would have to tell them is just to believe in themselves, believe in the story, to believe in your story. And I think this is one of the first pillar, the first part of my framework is to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, no one else is going to believe in you. How you
Mm,
do that is actually try to stop replaying, meaning like you always try to block on your subconscious by not let those negativity that start to trying to play, or at least come up, and to make you stop where you believe you had to go. So just I got to tell them, don't listen to that voice, or don't listen to that. If you're part of an environment that where you feel like you're not getting the support, get out of there, run. That's one. Number two, don't stop investing in yourself. Number two, that's the other
mhm,
part too. Sometimes people know they have a dream, Coach Caroline, but they don't want to invest in.
mm,
And this
mhm,
is, I almost fell trap into that. Just, you know what, I'm gonna get it out there for free. But I got to be honest with you. We got Coach Caroline here. She's a best-selling author. She went through that process. I'm a best-selling author. We went through that process. Do you think if I did not have anybody who went through that process, that show us that process, we would not be able to talk to you? But she's the one out there. If you're looking for a coach that could help you write a book, you better connect with her. So investing in yourself, invest in your dream. Number three, and I just want to making sure you have to trust the process. If you don't trust the
Mm,
process, what happened? Things gonna get hard. There's some night, Coach Caroline, I'll be going to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning. Sometime I'll be going to bed at 4 or 5 o'clock, even longer than that. But I still gotta get up and take care of my business, my 9 to 5 and my family. But you know what? I trust the process, and I did
mm,
not quit. So if you believe in yourself, if you invest in yourself, if you trust the process, aspiring author, guess what happened? You're going to become a best-selling author, and you're going to tell your
mm.
story. It's going to impact a lot of lives. Trust me, we've been there, and we want to happen for you too.
Beautiful. So powerful. Thank you, Dordy. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You've shared some really powerful pieces of advice, and I'm sure I'm looking at your book right now on Amazon. Can you tell us where to find you, like where to find you on social media, and just tell us.
Yeah, you can find me at the Dordy Pierre-Paul, the Dordy Pierre-Paul, TheDordy Pierrepaul. You find me on social media. You could also go to DordyPierrePaul.com, and also you can find me there. And we got some great people always ask me all the time how to get out of debt, and we're working on put some new content out there on that website where we could give people free resources and how to crash your debt, and that's gonna be available on our websites as well. As soon as that available, people could go out there, download that. But I'm out there trying to help people, just give them hope, let them know that, you know what, it's possible for them.
Yeah, lovely. And I'm going to
Anytime.
put all of Doherty's contact information into the description of this interview as well. So if you didn't catch it when he was saying it, then you can just go to the video description. Okay, thank you, Doherty. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, anytime, coach.